3, 4. I caught you knocking at my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done. I hit the CD and I lost my balance. I watched the needle take another man. Gone, gone, the damage done. Hey, Drew James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com, and I'm playing Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young, which is a fantastic intermediate guitar song just on the guitar by itself. But if you want to up that level a little further, you can also sing it like he does. And that's what I've been really enjoying with learning this song. Just the guitar on its own sounds fantastic. We've got some common chords and then some great little slides and moves around. A lot of arpeggiating with the pick. Arpeggiating means picking out the individual strings. It's a lot of fun to learn, so let's start doing it. Let's have a look at the first couple of bars. Okay, so this song, definitely you should use a plectrum for this to sound best, and you need to get you started on the right hand, because this is quite intricate picking. You need to get used to this idea of kind of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So whatever we're doing, whether we're picking a note or strumming a couple of notes, we want to get used to this sort of bounce idea, because it will make your accuracy of finding strings easier, and it will also help with your rhythm. So if you just take a D chord and just get used to this idea of going bass note on D and then doing a little mini strum on the ups. Now, I find for about 50% of my students, what actually works is placing a little finger as an anchor point onto the body of the guitar. Many students find this useful, but however, it doesn't work for everyone. So get used to doing this sort of thing, because you're going to be doing this a lot. This with a C chord. Okay, so let's start off and learn that first part. So you're taking a D and you're playing the D string, strumming on the up, and then bass note, then lift up the middle finger to turn it into a suspended second. Then play the D string, then the B string, then the G string, then the B string. If you don't know the names of the strings, Eddie 8, Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. Now staying there with most of your fingers, leave the middle, index and ring where they are. Take your middle finger and put it on fret 3 on the B string. That gives you the next chord that you're going to need. So your A string, B string, G string, thinnest string. Then A string again, B string, G string, E string. So it's a repeat. So the beginning. Then the same picking pattern for this next chord, but let me just show you what to do. Leave the ring finger where it is, lift up everything else. Index finger on fret 2 on the B string, middle finger on fret, no, actually, sorry, you don't need another finger. Just index finger on fret 2 on the A string. Leave the ring where it is. And it's the same picking pattern as we just had. So A string, B string, G string, E string. Now, at that point, I'm just going to tell you that it doesn't matter if you do occasional little strums and you don't necessarily pick them cleanly. So if you were to do this, it still sounds okay rather than... That's just a little more accurate, but really in Neil Young's version, he's a bit of both. There's a bit of strum, there's a bit of pick, and you can by all means blend it. But I thought if I show you all of the pick, it means that that's actually slightly harder to do. So therefore, when it comes to the little mini strums, you should find that easier. Okay, the next chord, leave the ring finger where it is on fret 3 on the B and slide the index down to fret 1 on the A string. Same picking pattern. Just slightly different actually. That's the same. Then A string, B, G, B. Okay, so the first 4 bars. D, D suspended second, the suspended second over C, good. Then you then move to a C chord, okay? And you're going to play bass note. And we're going to really mess around with that C chord. I'll go into detail about what I'm doing there. So bass note is the A string on a down pick. Then we're up strumming the bottom 2 strings to get the 0 and 1. Then we're going to play the D string, but we're going to lift up the middle finger, pick it open, and hammer with our middle finger. So it's... Then do another up strum on the 0, 1. Then open on G, then another up strum on the 0, 1. Then lift up the middle finger again, play the open G string this time, and hammer that on fret 2. And then you've guessed it, yeah, up strum on the 0, 1. So it's... So we're doing that little up strum for the 0, 1s. Then what I like to do is put my pinky down on fret 3. I'll play this bar first of all. So I like to leave my ring finger where it is. You don't have to. You could move your ring down if you wanted to, but I prefer to do that. Play fret 3 on the G string. Then lift up with pinky finger to go back to fret 2 on the G string, which we've just hammered down from. Then lift up the middle finger to do open G string. Then fret 3 with the pinky finger on the D string to make an F note. So it's... all the while with that little up strum 0, 1. So I'll start back on the bar before with the C chord. So the whole while we're doing this, that's half the battle, and then we're just moving, hammering on and moving those bass notes. We're then going to change to an E suspended 4th, which isn't half as difficult as it sounds. If you make an A chord and just slide that shape up some strings. So we're on the A string on the 2nd fret on the 2nd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D string, and 2nd fret also on the G string. Strum all 6 strings. Okay. And we're going to pick. So we're going to start on the 2nd fret on the G, and then strum the open strings on the bottom 2 strings, then 2nd fret on D, 2, and then sort of work closer towards you. A string, E string. Then make an E chord. Now that's pretty easy if you're doing A the way I am, with pinky, ring and middle. That's how I suggest you do it, because then when you change to E it's so much easier. You leave the middle and ring down where they are and put your index on fret 1 on the G string. Play that fret 1 on the G string, and then do the up, 2 on the A, 2 on the, 2 on the D, 2 on the A, then open on the A string, okay, so I'm going to do all of the E part now. So we've got the E suspended, okay, and that is pretty much many of the parts that you'll need for the whole song. So I'm going to play all of it now and recap it, and I'm going to do it slowly from the beginning. I'll call out the chords as I go. D, suspended second over C, G6 over B, then the B flat note, C, hammer on, 3, 2, 0, 3, suspended fourth, E. That's a good little workout on its own, okay? Then the singing starts, which is basically the same as what we've just played. Same chords. And then on the oo, we make a C chord. Okay, we don't need to be picking so fastidiously with this. This time we go bass, and then just up, down, up on the bottom 3 strings. So bass, up, down, up. Then bass on D, up, down, up. Then a mini bar F chord I prefer to use. You can use full bar F if you prefer, but mini bar F works just fine. That's pressing down the bottom 2 strings on the E and the B, 2nd fret on the G and the 3rd fret on the D. And we're doing the same idea of bass note on the D string and then up, down, up on the bottom 3. So we've got okay, and then I'll do the next 2 bars, and they're the last 2 you really need for the whole song. Okay, so we've got our E suspended fourth, right? The chord that we had earlier, which is like our A chord, but just moved up a set of strings, all right? And then once with that, what we're doing is we're going to play the thickest string first, then strum on the up on the bottom thinnest, then 2nd fret on the D string, and then thickest string again. So you basically repeat that idea. Then stay with it. So we're going to go thickest string, then we're going to hammer on the A string to the 2nd fret, like that. Then do our up. Then take this ring finger, slide it out to fret 4 on the D string, and then put it back to fret 2. So it's... The only other part that I wanted to show you with this song is the ending, because it has quite an abrupt ending. So we go round like we're doing the intro again, which is with your D chord, then lifting up. And then we've got this, when we go to the 1 on the A string on the 1st fret, we just go bass, strum, bass, up, and it finishes there, very unresolved. And it can be easy to play too much at the ending, but it's just there, finishing on an up strum, okay? Enjoy the song.